Hi everyone. Thanks for taking the time to view my presentation. One of my favorite courses to teach is the WELL 441 Leadership and Practice for Nurses. And in this course, there's a module on ethics in nursing leadership. That's the one that I chose to revise. I wanted to revise this module for a couple of different reasons. I didn't feel that there was enough emphasis on the difference between ethical issues that a nursing leader may face and ethical issues that a bedside or a patient care nurse may face. And I also wanted to delve more into moral distress. Moral distress is a very important and very timely topic at present, and a reason why many, especially new nurses, leave the profession. So I wanted to change the current objectives and activities to reflect that, and also I wanted to add more active student learning and participation. So I added in some case studies, some presentations, and a discussion. I used the Dick and Carey model of instructional design, and I started with identifying my learning goals and objectives. So let's take a look here. I have this week 1 overview, which goes over the course competencies for this module. As you can see here, they are to demonstrate and advocate professionalism and accountability in nursing management, and to demonstrate the ability to participate in effective teamwork and collaboration. I added that one in because I felt like the whole ethical dilemma solving had a lot more to do with teamwork and collaboration. The learning objectives are as follows. Identify current ethical problems in the work environment, examine leadership roles and management functions, develop solutions to leadership problems using different principles in problem solving, and support and advocate for professionalism and accountability to enhance the climate in nursing practice environments. I kept some of the same readings, but I did add in specific PowerPoints on the Code of Ethics with interpretive statements from the American Nurses Association. They actually have a whole faculty pack here that includes course slides. And it goes over each one of the provisions, and it also discusses ethics itself in nursing. Some of these articles are new. I also added in more articles that had to do with ethical preparedness for public health emergencies and healthcare disasters, as we've been facing a lot more of those in these times. I added in things on disaster medicine, and I added in this video on an ethical dilemma that occurred during Hurricane Katrina when hospital went down. So that was my overview. For the self-check quiz, I actually am going to have this be just 5 points because I'm using it more to be a knowledge check for the students to see where they may need to do some more work. The next thing is the case study. So the case study was going to actually cover all of the learning objectives. In the textbook, there are 2 different case studies. One is about an untruthful employee, and the other one is about an employee who's taken shortcuts. So remember, these people that are taking this course are nurses already, and they're in this program to get their bachelor degree. Most of them are going to be educators or nurse leaders. So as a nurse leader, they're going to choose one of these case studies and analyze it as directed. They're going to describe elements of professional liability. They're going to look at, assess, plan, and implement solutions to solve the problem and evaluate the results. I have a rubric here for that. It's going to be basically a paper. But they have the choice of which case study that they want to do. The next activity is a group activity. In this one, again, it covers all of those learning objectives. I'm going to divide them into groups, depending on how many are in the course. It could be just pairs or it could be more. And they're going to look at, be assigned one of these 4 systematic approaches to ethical problem solving. So there's 4 different ways that somebody could use 4 different methods that somebody could use to solve an ethical problem. So they are going to research and develop a presentation on their assigned approach, and I have that in an announcement, one of the announcements here. They'll be assigned which problem-solving model that they are going to do. They'll work together, and they're going to make some sort of a video, a slideshow, a Prezi, or something with audio. The contents will include this. Their final presentation will be from 8 to 10 minutes long. And I'm giving them a choice here. I'm saying they can collaborate any way they want. They can use email, Zoom, telephone calls, however they want. I can help them set up Google groups or separate discussion groups. Now, when they're done with this presentation, they're going to submit it to this toolkit. Now, of course, I got this idea from the courses that we have been taking. And I set up a site here for them. And there will be a page, or there is a page for each one of these. So once they're done with that group activity, there's also going to be a self-evaluation for that group activity that's going to include themselves and others in their group. So if I go back here, I do have the rubric here, and that is included in there. So part of their rubric, there's going to be at least 10 points that has to do with theirs and their peer evaluation. Once they've submitted that into the toolkit, this is where their Web 2.0 activity takes place. So they are all going to go into that toolkit together as the same group that made the presentation. And they're going to put it on that site, and they're going to prepare an engaging page. So you can see that I made that site very plain. It's going to be up to them to maybe do some additional research, add some articles, put some handouts and videos, anything that can help their peers understand that systematic approach to ethical problem solving. I'm asking them to be creative and use themes and layouts in the site. When complete, that's what this activity will be. The entire class will view each page, and a discussion forum will ensue, which will be a separate activity. So the purpose of this wiki page will be to communicate their knowledge with the rest of the class about their assigned topic. So this way, everybody's going to go in and be able to look at all of the other methods of ethical decision making. And again, there is a rubric for that. And this learning objective is really more about supporting and advocating for professionalism while they're trying to help their peers understand these methods. For that Web 2.0 activity, there's also a group self-evaluation. And then lastly, I have the discussion question. And this is where I ask them to talk more about nursing management ethics and clinical nursing ethics, and also about moral distress, moral uncertainty, moral outrage. So they're going to look at the difference between moral indifference, uncertainty, conflict, and give examples of each. They're going to explain how experiencing moral distress and moral outrage can affect a nurse, and what can they do as a manager to help. And finally, they're going to discuss the connection between how a nurse manager's values and basic beliefs can impact the way they may approach and solve ethical issues. This discussion is going to cover all of the modules that are in, all of the competencies rather, that are in this module. And then lastly, I've added in just a little, some levity. It's just a very short snippet from The Office. And if you've ever watched the show The Office, you can imagine what their business ethics are like. So thanks for looking at my presentation. I hope to be able to use this the next time that I teach this course. Thanks.